All right, so today we want to talk a little bit in our health minute, couple of minutes, about mask wearing. Seems to be a very important, popular subject of the day. This comes from the University of Maryland Medical School. That's their little graphic there showing the correct and incorrect ways to wear a cloth mask. Of course, we know that any part of our face that breathes is spewing out water droplets. And in those water droplets live a whole bunch of things that have lived inside our body, whether they are bacteria or viruses, which aren't quite alive but have alive characteristics to them. So they spread. And so anything that is spread through respiratory um, ways is going to float on those droplets and potentially float into other people's lungs when they breathe them in. So a mask is like a natural blanket over those noses and mouths that spread infection. So we're going to go over a couple of common myths that um, people will sometimes say to kind of help justify why they may not feel they need to wear a mask. The first one is kind of just a blanket statement that cloth masks do not protect you. Of course, any kind of barrier to any kind of disease is naturally going to protect you, but masks are very effective in creating a barrier between your mouth and nose and those around you. They capture the water droplets that are leaving your face before they can get out into the environment around you. It is true that your mask is more there to protect people around you, but it can actually protect you from the larger water droplets that are expelled around you. Say if someone sneezes or coughs, the larger ones can certainly get caught kind of as a last ditch effort by your mask, but if that person is wearing a mask, it really helps. The second myth, the way you wear a mask isn't important. Of course, we know that wearing your mask to cover your mouth and nose is effective at preventing the virus from spreading. If you pull it down to uncover your nose, you are doing very little to help protect others around you from catching the virus. If you wear it like a chin strap, you're kind of just wasting your time because your mouth and nose are not protected. And if you pull it up or pull one of your strap off and you kind of take some breaths or a drink or something like that and you're breathing, again, you're taking away the only protection that's there between you and other people. So, not a great idea. You want to be sure that you're wearing your mask correctly. You only need to wear a mask if you feel sick. That seems like it makes sense. It does not quite hold water, though. A lot of people with the virus in their body don't actually feel sick. So when we're talking about COVID-19, um, there are people called asymptomatic people who have the virus, just like someone who's really, really sick with it, but they, for some reason, aren't showing symptoms. And that's good for a virus because that means it gets inside a body and that body is healthy and can move all over the place and spread it without even knowing it. So if you're a virus and you get someone who's asymptomatic, you've hit the gold mine because you can just go and spread yourself all over the place. Of course, we know a lot of people have all kinds of symptoms, so we have to assume that we are spreaders, even if we feel good. If you've had coronavirus, you don't need a mask. The data is kind of incomplete here. Unfortunately, right now, we don't know that that is true. There's a chance you could catch the virus again. Um, there's a chance that if you built up antibodies to it, for instance, those antibodies may actually go away and become less effective. Um, so we have to wear our masks even if you have already contracted coronavirus. The next myth, you never need a mask outside. That is sometimes true, actually. It's usually true. If you're out for a walk or a run or a bike ride and you're not around people 6 feet away, you don't need a mask while you're exercising or something outside. If you're at your house, the people you live, you don't need a mask on. But if you're going to be within 6 feet of people, even if you're outside, you need to wear a mask. And it's never a bad idea to wear a mask, but Certainly, outside is better than inside if you don't have a mask on. It's not foolproof though, because if you're within 6 feet, those little water droplets just spray right out of one person into another. So keep that in mind. Last one we'll talk about today is if I'm wearing a mask, I don't need to stay home. The fact there is masks do make things much, much safer, but they do not make everything normal. So if you are wearing your mask, that is awesome. You should be wearing your mask if you're around people that you don't live with. But the best way to prevent spread in our community is to stay at home and apart from others as much as you can. But when you're out, be sure you're wearing a mask and you're washing your hands when you come back in and all those things, because that will help keep our community safe. And the faster our community is safe, the faster we can do things like get back together on school and sports teams and everywhere else that we go in life to make life fun. So anyway, this is some good information to have, and you will pull your next two assignments off of this information.